Okay, cool. So maybe before we start to critique on the case study, you could briefly just go over this case study and talk about what this project is about, and also what are some of the challenges you tackle and how you tackle those challenges, if that sounds good.
Okay, and the main challenge was to change the website, because everybody was telling that it was really confused and full of information. It didn't have a hierarchy of the information. The donation button was hidden. You to get to the donation button is you had to give 3 clicks. So it's really hidden, and the main reason of an existence of an NGO is donations. So, and they were a little bit resistant in the beginning to bring the donation button to the first page. But after talking to them, I convinced them, and I didn't know anything about Aboriginals, to be honest. I didn't know about anything about the Australia. I thought that the prisoners from UK came there and that's it. And so I studied, I visited museums, I talked to everybody that worked in this NGO to see their passion about the subject. And I talked to some Aboriginals as well. And I learned from their pain. And I really wanted to fight for their cause. And I knew that the way I could help them was to creating a great experience in their website.
And
so
just to quickly pause here, so just want to quickly summarize what you have just mentioned. So this website is about a website for NGO. And
yes.
The goal of redesigning this website is to update the information hierarchy, in order to attract new investors so that they can make donations to companies. Is that right?
Yes,
okay. Okay. And then when you were doing user research, you mentioned that you went to local museums. And also, what are some other research methods you took to understand the user pain points?
Yeah, I went to events, and I brought like those interview boards and talk to them and record the conversation. And I was, because I wanted to, for example, I asked them, where would you go if you want some support for donations or food or clothes? What would you do? And they like, if in the website, did you know that you could go to the website and just get it? Oh no, I didn't know. So many people didn't know they could go to the website and get their support.
Gotcha. Okay. And did you do like one-on-one user interviews in order to understand those users' pain points, or you mostly do interviews when you're doing user testing and validate some of the design concepts?
This one-on-one was just casual. It wasn't like, oh, so just sit here, let's talk about the website. No, it wasn't like that. It was just casual conversation.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so when I decided to when I gathered all the information that I knew that I was ready to start drawing, the first thing I did was to apply kind of a card sorting, because we put all the menus and submenus in the table, and we were like playing as like it was a puzzle. This is the left. This image on the left and on the right is the screenshot of the old website. You can see that there is 6 menus, 6 landscape menus, and also this portrait menu. So it was really confusing. And then I started to draw, and I kept testing everything, like asking their opinions. When I decided to draw, to go to the prototype part, I decided to think about the colors. So I started with brown, because it means a lot of because of their meaning, the meaning of the color, especially it means strong. It is it says a lot about the history of the Australia. And the second one was based in the Aboriginal painting colors that they use a lot of orange and blue, and that's why I decided to come up with this prototype. So, and then after I tested with them, 4 out of 5 decided that this the prototype on the right was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I did an well, there are two different outcomes. The first outcome was when we released that website in the end of January 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it lasted 6 months. And then when I went to Google Analytics again, the number of visitors tripled.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, in the end, you can see the before and after, and with details what changed in the. So it wasn't responsive and became responsive. It didn't have Google Analytics code, and then it had it.
Okay.
It completely changed. The portrait and landscape menu changed as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you for walking me through this case study. So maybe we can scroll all the way to the beginning to do this critique. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, so first of all, I think your case study has a very clear structure. It's easy to follow. Like the beginning talks about what tools you use, who are the clients, and also after the section, you talked about what is the challenge that your team is trying to solve, and how you did user research, and also what are some other activities you have participated in order to learn more about the user's needs. And also you did user testing, tried out different layouts, tried out different explorations, and what was the outcome. And also in the end, you showed a before and after, compare the two versions, and also visually outline what exactly are the changes you made. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I remember when I first saw the case study, I was trying to understand if this is a internship project, or this is a full-time project, or this is a side project or passion project. So I feel that if you could clearly tell the audiences what type of project this is, it's going to be helpful. Because in job interviews, it's very critical for interviewers to know what exactly is the type of the project, because they're going to use different criteria to evaluate different projects. So for example, if it's a full-time project, they probably would want to ask you about what is the launch results, something around the numbers, in order to evaluate if this is a successful project. However, if this is like a passion project, then probably they will use a different set of criteria to evaluate the case study. Interviewers probably would be more like looking for how much you think outside of the box. What are some like different variations you have explored? Because in side project and passion project, there's no much technical constraints or other like product constraints. So you have a lot of like opportunities to fully do different types of variations and explorations. So clearly communicating with others, what exactly is this type of project? Is it like a side project, or it's like a full-time project? Indicating that in the beginning would be helpful. So that's my first feedback. And the other feedback was about the times. It sounds like this is a project that you worked on back in 2015. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I was wondering, imagine that you're going to do interviews. Would you be primarily walking through this project, or you'll be walking through a more recent project?
Recent.
So the other feedback is that in like a actual job interviews, it's more recommended to walk through your most recent projects, because interviewers would want to like take a look at your most recent work in order to get more signals of your most recent skill sets. So if this case study is only presented for practice, that's totally fine. Just want to share the tips that if it's a real interview, I would recommend to walk through a most recent project. Okay, next section is the challenge. So the other feedback I have is before we talked about the challenge, it will be helpful if you have a overview section. So in the overview section, maybe you can talk about what exactly is this product. And in order to better help the audiences to understand what exactly this product is, you could consider show some like high fidelity mockups of the final solutions, or you could even show like a